Boston breathes differently at night. From Beacon Hill's golden terraces, light spills like honey onto the cobblestones. But a few miles east, the air sharpens, turning metallic near Ashen Harbor, where silence smells of rust and salt. Selena Vance walks alone between these two worlds. Her violin case taps against her knee with every unsteady step. A street lamp flickers above her, catching the rain sliding down her face. Not just rain, but tears she refuses to name. Her phone vibrates. One email notification glows on her cracked screen. Final notice. Tuition overdue. She exhales, a small defeated laugh. Moments ago, the conservatory called to say her audition, her last chance, had failed. The dream her parents died believing in collapses quietly, like a stage curtain falling without applause. She ducks into a narrow bar that smells of whiskey and regret. A cheap jazz track hums through broken speakers. Selena orders whatever's strongest and drinks until her reflection in the bar mirror looks like a stranger. Outside, the night tilts. Rain thickens. She stumbles through unfamiliar streets drawn by the far-off moan of foghorns. Neon signs fade as she wanders toward Ashen Harbor, where ships sleep and men disappear. Two figures emerge from the mist, eyes gleaming with hunger. One whispers, "The violin first." Before fear can reach her, headlights cut through the rain. A black sedan glides to a stop. A man steps out, calm, unarmed, terrifyingly quiet. The addicts freeze. They know that silence. They know that face. Roman Costello, the name no one speaks aloud in Ashen Harbor. He doesn't say a word. One look is enough. The men drop the knife, then the violin case, and vanish back into the dark. Selena sways, vision swimming. Her knees buckle, but Roman catches her before she hits the ground. Up close, he smells of gunmetal, rain, and something darker, a man who has survived violence, but carries it like a shadow. "Who are you?" she whispers. He doesn't answer. His eyes flick to the violin case, intact despite the rain. Something in his gaze softens, barely. He lifts her effortlessly, as if carrying something fragile from a battlefield. The sedan pulls away, leaving the alley silent except for the faint echo of a snapped violin string. Light leaks into the room before she wakes. A pale Boston dawn drapes itself across walls of glass. The rain has stopped, but its memory clings to everything. Selena stirs beneath linen far too soft to belong to her. Last night unfurls in fragments. The bar, the alley, the knife, the eyes. She sits up too fast. The room swims. This isn't a room. It's a cathedral of steel and silence. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Polished concrete. A grand piano untouched in the corner. Power lives here, but not warmth. Her violin case rests on a velvet chair, dry. Clean. Someone cared enough to do that. She moves through the penthouse, feet sinking into cold marble. No voices. Only the distant hum of the harbor. Down a corridor, a door stands half open. Inside, maps and photos cover the walls. Cargo routes, ship names, coded schedules. And in the center, a photo of Roman Costello, pinned with a silver blade. Beneath it, stamped in red, "Wanted Ghost." Violation of the code. Terminate on sight. Selena freezes. A voice behind her, low, quiet, close enough to raise goosebumps. "You've seen enough." She turns. Roman stands in the doorway, immaculate, unreadable. The same calm that made grown men drop knives and run. "You shouldn't be here," he says. She glances at the wall of secrets. "What is this place?" "You don't want to know." "I already do." His silence tightens. "You saw the board. Now you'll leave. Forget it." "And if I can't?" A flicker crosses his face. Pain. Old and buried. He turns away. "Everyone who stays near me ends up dead or ruined. Go while you still have a choice." "You saved me," she whispers. "Don't make that sound noble," he replies. "I don't save people." "Yes," she whispers, "you did." He breathes out. "Your clothes are in the next room. My driver will take you wherever you want." She hesitates at the door. Violation of the code. What did you break? Roman's reflection stills. He doesn't answer, but his hand curls into a fist, as if holding on to the last thing he can't afford to lose. Selena doesn't leave. Something unspoken lingers between them, a fragile thread stretched between two broken people who haven't yet realized they are mirrors. I'll go, she says softly. But first tell me why. Why what? Why save me if you are going to pretend I don't exist? For a heartbeat, his eyes soften. Then the armor snaps back. Because once, he says, I didn't. That night, rain returns, whispering against the glass. From down the hall, faint music rises, not from speakers, but a record player. A mournful melody trembling with loss. Selena follows it. Roman sits in the dark. On the desk beside him, a photograph of a young girl holding a violin. Your daughter? She asks. He shakes his head. My sister. What happened? She trusted the wrong man. Selena steps closer, pressing a single key on the piano. The note trembles through the room. Roman looks at her, and for the first time, his eyes aren't cold. For a moment, they simply exist. Two silences finally echoing each other. Days blend into each other. The penthouse becomes a strange purgatory. Roman leaves before dawn, returns long after midnight. Selena only sees traces of him. A half-finished glass of whiskey, a damp coat, a scent of rain. One evening, she picks up her violin. The melody rises, uncertain, fragile, but alive. Roman hears it from above and watches quietly as her music softens the steel walls. What piece is that? He asks. Something I wrote. He nods. Don't name it. Some things lose power once they're defined. Maybe some things need to be heard before they disappear, she answers. A ghost of a smile touches his lips. Then he turns to the window. When the harbor grows quiet like this, something's coming. The next morning, the light feels wrong. Roman stands on the terrace, phone to his ear. No movement. Freeze the docks. I said freeze them. He ends the call, jaw tight. They're testing me, he mutters. Seeing if I'll break the rules. Who? Selena asks. The commission, the men who built this harbor on blood and called it commerce. And you were one of them. He nods once. I was their ghost, until they asked me to move something I couldn't wash off. His phone buzzes. The name on the screen darkens his face. Silas Vane, he says. He's been waiting for me to care about something. Fear twists in Selena's stomach. What does he want? You, Roman says quietly. Because you're the first consequence I've had in years. Lightning forks across the sky, reflecting two versions of Roman, the man he was and the man trying not to be. What happens now? She whispers. Roman doesn't look at her. Now I find out if a man like me can protect something pure without destroying it. That night, the storm breaks. Roman finally speaks. It's not what they did to me, he says. It's what I let them do. He opens a small tarnished locket, a girl's picture inside. My sister Luna. 17. They killed her to send a message. The rain beats harder. I burned everything after that, he says. Names. Ledgers. Men. I became the ghost they wanted. The man who left no witnesses. Selena's eyes sting. Then why stop now? Because one night, Roman says quietly, I saw a girl in an alley clutching a violin the way Luna clutched her diary, and I couldn't let her vanish the same way. He closes the locket. The room goes silent. The storm outside becomes the rhythm of their breathing. Selena steps closer, her voice low, trembling. You saved me because of her. Roman shakes his head. No. I saved you because you reminded me there's still something worth saving. For the first time, she sees him. Not the legend, not the outlaw, but the man beneath it all. Raw. Undone. The ghost wasn't born from cruelty. He was built from guilt. Lightning flares, washing the room in white. In that brief flash, she understands, this isn't a story about a criminal saving an innocent girl. It's about two broken lives orbiting the same silence, daring to believe they might both deserve to live. The storm passes, but peace doesn't come with it. Only stillness, the kind that hums under the skin, too heavy to trust. Roman hasn't slept. He sits before the giant map in his office, pins and strings webbing across the East Coast like arteries of power. Half the lines cut, half the men gone. He's dismantling himself piece by piece, yet the walls feel no safer. Selena enters softly, barefoot, holding 2 mugs of coffee. Steam curls between them like fragile smoke. "You look like you're mapping ghosts," she says. He almost smiles. "That's exactly what I'm doing." She sets a mug beside him, her fingers brushing his. The touch lingers, too brief, too human. Then the phone vibrates. A message flashes across the screen. "You broke the rules. Now we'll rewrite yours." No name. None needed. The commission had found their voice again. Selena frowns. What do they want? Roman looks at her, and something in his eyes tells her the answer is already too close. Later that afternoon, she stands on the balcony, the harbor spread below in sheets of gray. For the first time, she feels the world pressing in, not just his world, their world. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. A man's voice greets her, smooth as glass. "Miss Vance. A pleasure. My name is Silas Vane." Her breath catches. "How did you get this number?" "Oh, come now," the voice replies lightly. "We live in a transparent age. And your name travels quite far for a girl who used to play in subway stations." Selena's heart pounds. "What do you want?" "What I always want," Silas says. "A civilized conversation, perhaps about your debts, or that little problem with your conservatory." Silence. He hears a crack. "You didn't know," he sighs, almost tender. "How careless of them. They've terminated your scholarship. Ethical concerns. Something about your association with criminal elements. Terribly unfortunate. You did this." He laughs softly. "I corrected the imbalance. Costello corrupts everything he touches. But unlike him, I don't need guns to ruin lives. I just sign papers." "Why me?" she whispers. "Because he saved you. And men like him don't deserve anything pure." The line clicks dead. When Roman returns that night, she's no longer on the balcony. He finds her in the practice room, bow in hand, playing with reckless fury. The music is jagged, collapsing under its own emotion. "They expelled me," she says flatly. "Called me a liability. Someone paid them to make it look righteous." "Silas," Roman says. She nods, eyes wet. "He said everything you touch turns to ash." Maybe he's right. The violin slips from her hand, shattering against the marble. The strings snap like screams. Roman freezes. Because in that moment he knows she isn't wrong. He built his empire from silence and control, and now it's destroying the only thing that brought music into his life again. "You should have let me die in that alley," she whispers. Roman can't answer. The words land like bullets he deserves. For the first time in 10 years, the ghost feels powerless. Rain returns in thin silver lines. Roman stands in the doorway of the ruined music room, staring at the fragments of the violin. It lies like a small broken body. Selena sits beside it, knees drawn to her chest. When he finally moves, he kneels near her, close, but not too close. "I can fix it," he murmurs. She laughs bitterly. "You can't fix this. You can't fix me." He looks at her fully, voice raw. "I'm not trying to fix you, Selena. I'm trying not to destroy you." Her eyes flick to his. "Then stop saving me." It hits deeper than she meant. Roman stands, walks to the window. "I spent years thinking control could protect the people I loved. But control is just another cage. It keeps everything safe until it keeps everything out." Selena rises slowly. "Then what are you going to do?" He exhales. "Something I should have done years ago." He calls a number labeled simply, Wallace. "I'm not calling as ghost," Roman says. "I'm calling as a man trying to undo a mistake. I need a lawyer." "What kind?" Wallace asks. "The kind who makes devils legal, and the kind who knows how to bury a commission." Selena stares, stunned. "You're going after them with lawyers?" "I'm done fighting their way," he says. "I'll fight with yours." Days blur with paperwork. Roman liquidates offshore accounts, reroutes shipments, slices away at the commission's power with signatures instead of bullets. Selina watches, helps heal slowly. Sometimes she plays on a borrowed violin, the one Roman brought without a word. One night, she finishes a piece. Roman stands in the doorway. "You're winning," she whispers. "I'm erasing myself," he says. "Winning comes later, if we're still standing." "And when you're gone?" she asks softly. "That's the point," he says. "You'll be free to play." Across the city, Silas Vane watches the news. Shipments halted. Audits underway. His smile twists like venom. "So, the ghost wants to die clean," he murmurs. "Let's dirty the funeral." He announces the Boston Art Foundation Gala. A seat reserved for Miss Selina Vance. An invitation arrives at Roman's door, ending with 5 handwritten words. "Let's end this in public." Roman pins it to his wall beneath a new phrase he writes. "Fight them in the light." A week later, at the Marlowe Museum, the city's elite gather. Silas gleams in a white tuxedo. At 8, the crowd hushes. Roman Costello appears at the top of the grand staircase. Selina beside him. Silas's smile freezes. At the champagne bar, Roman says, "You hurt a girl who had nothing to do with your war." "Innocence isn't weakness," he adds quietly. "It's witness." Silas smirks. "What will you do? Sign me to death?" "No," Roman says. "The law will." The stage lights shift. A screen descends. A new foundation. The Luna Vance Foundation for Deaf and Disadvantaged Artists. Endowed entirely by Roman. Assets transferred. Protected by federal oversight. Silas's phone buzzes. Asset freezes, subpoenas, financial seizures. "You wanted a public war," Roman says. "Welcome to it." Across the hall, Selina stands before the glowing screen, her name beside Luna's. She understands. Roman didn't save her. He rewrote her future. Months later, the city forgets. But in a quiet corner of Boston, the Luna Vance Theater rises. Opening night, the hall full, the stage lit. Selina stands ready to play. Roman watches from the wings, gray suit, no guards, just a man who chose peace. She lifts her bow. The music blooms, fragile, human, alive. When she finishes, applause erupts. She looks for him, but he's already gone. Outside, Roman stands across the street, watching her world glow behind glass. A faint smile touches his lips. Not pride. Not regret. Peace. He walks away into the night, no ghosts left to follow. A voice, soft, unseen, echoes in the air like a closing book. He's saved her from the dark, but she's saved him from the silence. And that was the ghost and the violin.